This is just a sample of the training available at itdvds.com. To see complete training, please go to itdvds.com. Let's begin the sample. So now we have this one physical machine that's going to be our host, that's running our hypervisor. So our hypervisor in our case is going to be Windows Server 2012 R2 with the Hyper-V role. And on this physical server, we're going to run multiple virtual machines. These virtual machines are going to look like they have their own hardware. But it's all going to be virtualized on this one host. So I can have 1, 2, 12, 100 virtual machines or more even running on this one physical server. So let's go take a look at a virtual machine. Here I am logged into my host, our Windows Server 2012 R2 server running the Hyper-V role, and I have two virtual machines, and we'll learn more about this as we go on with the movies. But here we have two virtual machines. I can look at these virtual machines. Let's open up the console of one of these and connect to it. And here is a virtual machine that's running Windows Server 2003. So it's running its own operating system. It has its own drives. We can open up Explorer. Go to My Computer here. It has its own C drive, its own floppy drive, its own DVD drive. But all of these are virtual. This C drive is a virtual disk. This A drive is a virtual floppy drive. This DVD drive here, or CD drive, is a virtual CD drive. It has network adapters. If we go to network connections here, we can see we have a local area connection too. But again, all this is virtual. But as far as the operating system that's running on the virtual machine, which is Windows 2003, is concerned, it all feels like real hardware. And the operating system that's running on the virtual machine is called the guest operating system. So we have the host operating system that's running Hyper-V, and then the guest operating system that's running on a virtual machine. And we can have multiple virtual machines running different guest operating systems. So this virtual machine is running Windows Server 2003. This virtual machine is actually running Windows Server 2012 R2. And I can go to the settings of this virtual machine and we can actually see the virtual hardware. I can see for virtual memory, it's got 2 gigs. It's got 2 processors. It's got a SCSI controller with a couple hard drives connected to it. But everything within this virtual machine acts as though that all that virtual hardware is real hardware. So the same as if we installed this operating system on a physical server. But it's not. It's virtual. So the network adapter on this virtual machine will have its own IP address. It can communicate out on the network. We can store files on its virtual disk. Everything acts as though it's physical hardware. And this is all made possible by our hypervisor, which in our case is Hyper-V. So I'm running all these virtual machines. So in our previous example, we had 12 physical machines. I could have 12 virtual machines all running on one physical machine. All running at the same time. Each virtual machine feels like they have their own hardware. I can configure their own hardware differently than each other virtual machine. They could all be running different operating systems, all on this one physical host.